Let's take another quick dive back into Philippians chapter 1 as we're finishing up this chapter. We're going to dive back back to verse 27 where we started last time. We won't make the same points, but we'll make a couple in addition and then close out the chapter. Verse 27 says, "Only let your manner of life be worthy of the gospel of Christ, so that whether I come and see you or am absent, I may hear of you that you're standing firm in one spirit, with one mind, striving side by side for the faith of the gospel, and not frightened in anything by your opponents. This is a clear sign to them of their destruction, but of your salvation, and that from God. For it has been granted to you for the sake of Christ, you should not only believe in him, but also suffer for his sake, engaged in the same conflict that you saw I had, and now hear that I still have." Paul is writing to a group of people who have a long history of military pride, of tradition of strength. They have prided themselves in being Roman, and so that comes with military might. No doubt there would have been many in Paul's church that he's writing to there in Philippi that were retired military and things. And so when he appeals to them about finding their strength and their courage, he understands that they're needing to find it in a new place now because they used to have to rely on themselves. And so admitting things like you're going to be stronger when you stand side by side with somebody else would be an element or a mark of being a new creation in Christ, because I used to have to be, in our terms, kind of like an army of one. I used to have to prove, I don't back down to anybody. I used to have to prove that I'm a man's man or something along those lines. And so the new heart in the Philippian was now yielding itself to understanding that my strength is going to be shown in my weakness. And Paul is about to really lay out Jesus as the ultimate demonstration of this in Philippians chapter 2. And Paul is even referencing himself at the end of our first chapter here of just as I'm having to suffer for Christ's sake, so also you should expect to as well. And so really what's going on here is that Paul is showing these new creations in Christ, as sweet as their spirit and their hearts are, as much as Paul loves the Philippian believers, that they're going to have to find their strength to endure difficulties in unexpected places, because their habits all along in the flesh have been to find their strength in and of themselves. And this is really the call for all of us. All of us have retreat centers. All of us have habits. We all have things that we fall back to that make us feel as though we don't need God as much as we actually do. And so Paul, in a sense, is giving us the same word here, that if you're going to win this, you're going to have to stand side by side other people. There's no shame in admitting the fact that you and I need each other in order to find boldness. We're in America, and a lot of our history is around quotes of individuals who have had great statements and made amazing stands. But if we could go back and interview some of the people that have made some of the greatest comments in our nation's history, I think we'd see a whole host of people that were their support, and that their strength was derived from those that built them up and believed in them, and they acted in faith, knowing that. So let's not buy into the hero type of acts of faith, that we do this together, knowing that we take on the difficulties, that none of us are going to be as bold as we want to be on the outside, but we're going to need each other in order to stand up to the onslaught and the things that we are being called to suffer for the sake of Jesus Christ. God bless you.